We knew it would. Pritch and Nigel, they've known in a while, good lads. We knew we'd get a good test here. And in terms of, and it's almost a little role reversal in terms of we were up against a Crew and a Burnley because they were bigger teams who were able to play and perform and had that little edge desire. Almost with a great respect to Witton, we're the bigger team here coming here. So we'd set up that mentality and that psychology. So it was a little bit disappointing. It's disappointing. I'd set up, I'd spoke to you during the week and I spoke to the players about, I think we should come and try and win this game. I think that will be the next part of our development, and we haven't won the game. So it shows us where we are in terms of, in terms of fitness and that. If we were playing in that game tactically, we might have made some changes earlier on. But we already had, I'd already marked out my two teams, and you'll confirm I made the changes exactly as I was going to do. So in terms of that, in terms of a plan of fitness and minutes on the pitch, we almost came here with that in mind. So to play the game, I might have put another body in midfield earlier on to help us get a grip of the game. But we stuck with what we wanted to do. So we get our minutes on the pitch, we get our levels of fitness, we get the lads out there again, but we do take away some disappointment, if we're honest. We take away some disappointment. I'm almost going to like managers speak. The way to look at it in terms of positive would be, hang on, it just brings us back down to earth a little bit and sets us back up for the next 2 weeks where we really perform. And in front of the players, they say, hey, we're not as far as we thought we were. Hey, it's good. And we would do that type of talk. I don't worry about the characters and the personality. I actually know the group of lads that we got in there, and I can tell by their reaction that, hey, they're feeling that themselves. They're a little bit disappointed that they haven't been able to come and perform here. I know they'll get a reaction on Tuesday, when the gaffer comes back and takes charge. So I'm actually not too worried, but disappointed with the performance.
A couple of goals very different, weren't they? The first one was a great strike by the lad. Maybe you could say didn't close him down quick enough, probably from your point of view. And the second one, was it a bit too easy?
I would say we didn't close him down, and a ball came in and it was headed down, and he's still got a lot to do. But I would expect us to be right on top of that, and I think that's almost a little bit of the feel about it. That we weren't quite at our sharpest on top of our game. Second goal, I'm not happy with at all. and there's certainly a couple of little bits that I'm not happy. I've got a very clear picture of that I'm not happy about. It's pre-season. I'm not in the.
I'd rather get these mistakes out of the way now.
Well, it gives me some concerns actually about some of the people that made the mistakes. Actually, it actually makes me look at it and think, I'm not sure about that. If that can happen there, I wouldn't want, So that makes me think twice about some people in terms of positions, and what went on there. I was really disappointed with the second goal. I don't think that should happen. That was to repeat itself, then we'd be playing somebody else. If I'm honest, it is just as clear cut as that. Yeah, that was poor.
And from your point of view, as an attacking threat today, we had plenty of the ball in front of them, but didn't really get behind them enough, did we?
Bit safe. We said about bit safe. We play it across the pitch, and the pitch is in good shape, but it's. The grass is quite long and slow and that, and so we didn't move it quickly enough, and we just kept going backwards. And we talked about, if you get a ball and there's 10-15 yards in front, go into it, and then trust yourself to make a decision when the player turns up. Somebody will be in a space to be able to play, and we didn't do enough of that, and we were a little bit wide at first because almost Menor and Man were excellent the other night. It was almost going to that. You need to play right down the middle of the pitch, and it creates some more space wide. So we got a little bit. It can happen. Because you have a couple of good performances, you start to miss out some of the little elements of the game, some of the first bits of the game that allow you to play that well, and we didn't do that bit. So it comes straight back down to basics when you have a little result like that, and put all that stuff right, and it goes again. You don't let it build and build. So we recognise it. I meant, the lads come in, they all want to have a little, make a point. Hey, listen to me, and I'd seen it from that, and then when they'd seen the same thing. So they're actually out there as we're coaching them. We're starting to, pick up the lessons we learned from a Burnley and a Crew, and the lessons we learned from these today. And we tell them about it, and we make sure they understand why it's happened. And then as it repeats itself in games over during the season, hopefully they recognise it, and we've got enough leaders out there that can deal with it in the moment rather than reacting to it after a game. If we can get them to understand that, then we'll be able to turn those things around in games.
Interesting little role for Craig, isn't it? He seems to be revelling in that little role there, just off the striker. He's got a great goal again today.
He's just in good form, and he's just in really good form. He was when we came in last season, and he picked up a little injury and then struggled towards the end of the season. It was probably down to him being too honest, playing with a knock. But he's come back flying. He enjoys it. The gaffer's just like, in terms of those types of players within his team, just be positive. So Jamie Mann and Craig Mann, he just gives them license when they pick the ball up to go and do stuff. He has unbelievable feet. He moves the ball at mad angles. You know, players tend to go forward with the ball and move it a little bit side to side. He moves it side to side at like 45-degree angles and drags his foot over it, and he loses people, and you almost think he's lost himself. He's able to drag it, and it can cause a lot of problems. He's revelling in the manager's culture, saying be attacking and be positive. He's revelling in that when he's been wide and when he's been in the hole. So yeah, he's someone you have to have a look. When Riley came on, when he goes forward and starts to get in that, he's in the hole. We know John Rooney can play in the hole. We've got Sean McConville who can play in the hole. We've got Hobson who can play foot. There's some other little partnerships that we've had another little look at today, and definitely have a look at in the 2 games this week before we try and finalise things for the last week. There's a lot of options. We need to pick the right one.